Kaufman at risk with just 10 big blinds. Petkov and Sorensen with around 20 big blinds each, and Andre Akari, the last remaining member of Team PokerStars Pro, currently second in chips with a 30 big blind stack. The blinds still 200,000, 400,000 with a 50,000 ante for another 40 minutes. As we continue to play on five-handed here in the Barcelona main event. So Daniel, still anyone's tournament, but obviously a lot of people in this room right now delighted to see that Rafael Sorrentino is back in it.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I think he deserves it. I think he's playing to win. He's playing properly. He doesn't seem phased by the money jumps. He's making plays he thinks are just right. Like, and a lot of time on the big stage, having experience, which he obviously does because he just won one, adds a little bit of comfort level, where I think maybe some other players are a little more concerned about, you know, making mistakes.
So a quick reminder that in a few minutes' time we are kicking off that Sunday Million live satellite on PokerStars. I see that nearly 2,000 players have already registered for that game. Just one Stars coin to play with 25 packages in the prize pool, 25 seats to Sunday Million Live. That's a €215 ticket. Just search TV in the PokerStars tournament lobby. Make sure the filters are switched off. You'll see the game pop up. Register now for one Stars coin to try and win yourself a €215 ticket to Sunday Million Live. And yes, we have realized in a week's time we'll be doing this all over again. Myself, Joe Stapleton, Matt Broughton will be at King's Casino in Rosvedov live streaming the last 2 days of this tournament. No rest for the wicked, Daniel.
You guys can do it.
I appreciate your confidence.
It's a tough gig, but somebody's got to do it.
King Jack suited for Sorensen. Danny H on Twitter delighted with that double up for Sorrentino. Yes, all the players are amazing, but I am a Sorrentino fan and Akari as well.
Well, both of his horses then are in good position in the 1 and 2 spot.
You can't hedge. There's only 5 players remaining. Pick a horse, stick with it.
I like that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. Just not the other one.
Okay. Raise and take it for Sorensen, which will take us to hand 58.
You got Petkov folding an ace in the big blind, right? He has ace 3. He could theoretically just jam it in there, and it'd be fine to do that with ace 3. To at least not even at least call. He's showing a propensity right now to just really what we call knit it up and play very conservatively, waiting maybe on Kaufman because he's short.
I was going to say that is the key observation now. Is there's no one. Before the low man was 20 big blinds and the big stack was 30 big blinds, but now there's some difference. Now there is someone who is really definitely in shovel fold mode. It does change the dynamic.
Like Sorensen again reaching for chips. Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
Pocket kings. Sorensen raises under the gun.
You know, normally when you're raising fourth flop at this stage, you want everyone to fold. This isn't one of those times. This is where you really want some action.
For sure.
Oh, he got some. Kings against kings.
How on earth have they both got kings?
And he just called?
What is going on?
So that's quite interesting that...
That's understatement, right? Quite interesting.
Yeah, he's got 11 big blinds, so to just call there, it's almost like even more of a signal to the rest of the table that, hi guys, it's me, I just have aces or kings here. Because what other hands would just call here? A little bit strange there.
Andre, careful.
2 million, 3.8.
Now would be a really bad time to get frisky and try squeezing with 8-4 of hearts.
Yeah, I don't see Andre doing that. I think he's just thinking about calling because he's got value here. He's already got 4 in. He has not a great hand, but, you know, he can flop some flushes. He can flop straight. He can flop 2 pair trips.
Well, he's getting a great price, courtesy of Kaufman just calling and not re-raising. Yeah. The flop is ace 10-7.
Well, now Kaufman might lose it. He may actually lose the pot now, because it'd be tough for him to continue with kings if somebody bets here with an ace out there. It's the one card when you have 2 kings, you think, okay, no ace, no ace, no ace, no ace. Oh, ace.
Everybody checks, and we get the deuce of hearts.
Well, that gives Akari a flush draw now. So if he were to take initiative, he might be able to win it. The question is, does Sorensen want to bet now? We had sort of the checked around flops. You think, okay, ace check, nobody's there. Sorensen could still have one and check the ace. Kaufman, unlikely. This could get checked around, or I could see Sorensen betting.
I'm sorry, it'd be so ridiculous if a heart came on the river and the guy with 8-4 cracks 2 players with kings.
I think it would be what we call justice. So Sorensen, he believes he has the best hand now. He's not bluffing, right? He didn't like the ace, but nobody bet the ace, so he's thinking, okay, I'm safe. The big blind, Andre Akari, he could have anything, which he does. So he's only worried about Kaufman, and Kaufman checked, so he's got to like it. Now what do you do if you're Kaufman? You just slow-played kings with 11 big blinds, and now you're faced with a bet with an ace out there.
So the delayed continuation bet from Sorensen of 1.25 million. Is Kaufman going to continue playing this slow and just call?
Well, I don't think raising now makes a lot of sense.
Good point with the ace out there. So Kaufman calls, and now Andre's getting a really good price to draw to his flush.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, there's also the possibility that Andre could go just like buck wild and say raise here and win it right now. Imagine if he check raises here. No one's going to call him. But he doesn't know that they both happen to have kings. I mean, I thought when I saw kings against kings, we're going to have a chop pot. I didn't see it happening this way.
No. Well, Mark Baggett on Twitter says what we're all thinking. This has been such a bizarre final table so far. And then you get this weirdness. 2 players with kings and a guy drawing to a flush who could beat them both.
I just think Andre might be a little bit concerned that there's a higher flush draw out there. It's possible somebody has 2 bigger hearts. You know, if you're really on and you think they both don't have an ace here, you could make that check raise play, but looks like Andre takes the safer route. Going to call, try to catch that flush, getting a really good price.
6.75 million in the middle, still 3 players going to the river. And that river card is a heart!
Nani boo boo. I can't believe it.
Andre Akari rivers the flush.
Oh, when you're Kaufman and you're that short, you don't really want 2 people in, you just want 1. I mean, 2 doesn't. Checked around.
Gets checked to showdown, and Andre somewhat embarrassingly shows I've got.
I don't think he's embarrassed at all.
And both players knock their kings because they cannot win.
I think the embarrassment should be in Kaufman right now for going, why did I allow this to happen? Wow. Really huge, important pot for Akari there. Now Kaufman down to just 6 big blinds after that slow play of kings. Ill-advised, man.
Sorensen down to 17 bigs, Kaufman down to 6 bigs. Andre Akari chip leader once again with 41 big blinds.
So a lot of you at home might be wondering, like, well, why wouldn't he bet there when the flush got there? I think he was figuring that nobody was going to call and that maybe somebody else would bet. But, you know, you could make an argument that with such a scary card, he probably should have bet there and got some value, like bet 2.5 million or something.
Wow. So much ridiculousness Still five-handed with 30 minutes to go on the level. That does mean blinds go up in 30 minutes' time.
Yeah, that's a lesson for all of you there. You know, you want to be, when you're short stacked like that, you don't really have a lot of room to just flat with kings with 11 bigs. You just got to put it in, you pick up the initial raise, you pick up the blinds. If the guy calls, great, you get it in heads up. You don't really want to be that greedy and go after the big blind call, because the big blind's only going to continue often when he can beat 2 kings.
Sorrentino has raised it up with King Jack. Sorensen has ace-9.
É bom. É muito, não?
And we've mentioned a few times that there are so many events at a PokerStars Championship stop. I just want to give a quick shout out to a player called Harsharan Dogra, who we saw final table the main event last year. Last night he won the 1K Hyper Turbo for 41,000 euros. So good they named him twice.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who wins this Hyper Turbo, which is boiling down to with these stack sizes.
I love Ben Jones-Grove's assessment of this final table. This is the biggest mess I've ever seen.
Well, I mean, you could theoretically see this hand get in, because you've got Sorrentino with top pair kings. Sorensen has 9s with an ace. Pretty strong hand heads up.
Yeah, the problem is, Dan, you say theoretically they could get it in. We just saw 2 players with kings pre-flop.
Right. And I guess right now Sorensen is looking over at Kaufman's stack and saying, okay, wait a minute, wait a minute. You know, this could cost me 85,000 if I go broke.
Absolutely.
So he's betting his 9, really just hoping to pick it up here. Sorrentino slow playing the king. I like this play in this situation. No real reason to raise. Oh, well, I guess there's a reason to raise because an ace might come. Oh boy, seen some crazy hands. Turn of events here for Sorensen. He just went from really bad shape to having a stranglehold on the hand. The question is now, how does he get the rest of his chips in? Does he check, or does he just bet? He elects to check it. So backdoor spades hit. Unlikely either player has any of that. Sorensen has to feel very confident. His aces and 9s are best. 4 million out there. He's going to want to get some value. Maybe he's going to bet about 2.4 million. And Sorrentino may be forced to call, because you see the king 8-9 on the flop. There's, you know, with 2 clubs. Your opponent could have a flush draw that missed, a straight draw that missed. So a king beats a lot of hands. And it's a good kicker too. King and a jack.
Sorensen value betting his 2 pair.
So pretty small bet, forcing Sorrentino to call, essentially. So unlucky for Sorrentino. Just going to look at the bad news here that the ace got him on the turn.
Watch.
So Sorrentino not happy to see that one. Felt good about it on the flop.
Yeah, the aces, bro.
No comment, looks like.
The unintentional, I hope, needle from Sebastian Sorensen. And Brian Kaufman on life support with just 5 big blinds. Daniel, we're going to cut you loose. Thank you for spending so much time in the booth with us. Really appreciate your insights. Great stuff.
It was a pleasure, guys. Have fun.
Daniel Negreanu from Team PokerStars Pro. We'll get Jamie Staples back on the mic in just a moment. With 26 minutes until the next break, and apologies for advertising before the last break that you'd get to see part 1 of Poker in the Ears and Eyes. I am reliably informed that the podcast will be going out during the next tournament break. We may have naively expected this final table to go quite quickly, because we didn't think somehow they'd be eking out these 20 big blind stacks for multiple levels. But chances are you will get to see all 3 parts of the podcast during the breaks, during the course of play here in Barcelona on PokerStars TV. Jamie Staples back on the mic.
Wow, we still have 5 people.
I know. I'm acutely aware of that, but thank you for reminding me.
I've been gone for an hour. I was kind of expecting like a 3-handed little something going on.
You and me both. Well, we have an all in here. Petkov is shoving. We know he has an ace. We can't see his other hole card right now. And that is a call. Sorensen calls with ace-queen. Petkov tabling the same hand. Oh, please. At least, unlike where they both had kings pre-flop, they at least got it in this time. Well, 97% of the time, this is going to result in a chop pot. Make that 100% of the time. No sweat, no drama. Jamie, happy to harmonize with this one? You know what they say. Everyone loves a chop pot. Good job, Jamie Staples.
Are people getting anxious on the rail? Like, I have a different feel, a different vibe around the table right now.
That's because they've got alcohol.
Right. It is getting later in the day. That makes sense, yeah.
I don't think they need an excuse for it to be late in the day. I never thought that we would possibly get to the end of level 35 still 5-handed. But in 23 minutes time, we're going on break again. Nico says, wait, didn't Sorrentino win Monaco? Is he like the new poker boss? You are correct. He did win the main event in Monte Carlo, looking for his 2nd title here today. And yes, what a boss. And even if he goes out next, Jamie, to have won in Monte Carlo and then made the final 5 from a starting field of 1,682, it's an incredible accomplishment.
Okay. Pretty short stack here. Nope.
You're just waiting for him to make his move, right?
Yeah. I mean, everyone sort of has to wait if you're sitting with 19 big blinds. You don't want to miss out on that huge pay jump.
Andre Akari raises with the Jack-9, gets folds from everyone, still in charge, still with the biggest stack.
And if you're Akari in this situation, you love what's going on here because a lot of the middling stacks can't fight back and gives Akari room to play aggressively, wreak havoc.
We have now reached hand 62 of the final table. I hope you're enjoying what you're watching. I know it's bizarre. I know we've seen some strange play. I know we've seen some weird hands. But I hope the entertainment factor is at 10. Hashtag PokerStarsTV on Twitter as we see Andre continuing to keep up the pressure. 10-4 of diamonds, and he is raising.
Here we go again, taking advantage of the chip stack situation here. I mean, this is a pretty crazy hand, 10-4 of diamonds.
It's a good buddy hand, 10-4, good buddy.
Sorensen folded a better 10 there, 10-9.
If Jamie's too young for Top Gun references, he's definitely too young for ham radio references.
Yeah. I would concur with that analysis. Sorrentino with Queen Jack in the small blind. He calls. And now we've got Lachazir Petkov in the big blind. He passes, so heads up to the flop. It's a 9-5-3 flop. Both players whiff. If Andre continues here, there's a very good chance he steals it.
It's a good spot to bet. Sorrentino shouldn't have very many hands that hit this sort of board. You're not going to call a 3-4 in the small blind, are you? Right? So those hands don't exist. Kari throws out the bluff.
775,000. And again, continuing to use his big stack as leverage against all those middling stacks. So we're just waiting for Brian Kaufman to gamble with his 4 big blinds.
Four big blinds, you say? That's short. That's not a lot of big blinds.
That's why they pay Joe Stapleton the big bucks, ladies and gentlemen.
That's my analysis right there, guys. Just going to lay it all on the table.
Sorrentino folds the best hand. Akari wins another one and is closing in on the 50 big blind mark. He's really putting some distance between himself and the rest of the table.
What an amazing story. First to 15, down to 5 big blinds, almost busting before the final table, and boom. The big chip lead, 5-handed.
Close to 20 million chips. Sorensen second on the leaderboard with just shy of 30 big blinds. Brian Kaufman down to just 4 bigs. If Kaufman gets dealt kings again, I hope he doesn't just flat.
Flats pre-flop, flats flop, calls all in on turn.
Well, Mark Baggett says, trust me, this is definitely entertaining. Cameron says, it's getting beyond weird. Pokar says, the entertainment factor goes all the way to 11.
You get that one, Jamie?
I'm
going to make a list for you. This
Thank
is
you.
Spinal Tap. Is going to go on the list.
List of movies for Jamie Stapleton to watch. Jamie Staples. This is what happens when I've got 2 people with similar names after 5 12-hour work days. Well, this was limped under the gun by Sorensen. I'm not sure why. Petkov calls in the small blind with ace-3. Andre with the same hand in the big blind checks as well.
What do you want to bet? An ace still flops. Should have taken the bet.
Ah, that's close, though. Little gut shot.
I really hope for Sorensen's sake that he doesn't turn a set.
So I like the limp with 6s. I think it's a hand that has a lot of value, but you can't raise, call, and all in. You don't really want to play a big pot, so the limp in seems reasonable to me. Petkov with the ace-3 of hearts, of course, a hand that can make really strong hands. You want to get in there, and Akari getting the free flop. Looks like Akari's going to take a little lead here.
$575,000. Sorensen sticking around.
Can't be folding yet. Open-ended straight draw, second pair. Now Petkov probably in a spot where we're going to see a fold. It is a good price.
And this is another straight draw you don't really want to hit, though, right?
A deuce or a 6. I have to tell the truth, I did miss the deuce originally. With the deuce or the 6, it's a decent amount of outs, I think.
The deuce,
Getting there.
fine, but this the 6 you can't really love. Puts 4, 5, 6, 7 out there.
It's not a slam dunk.
The board pairs on the turn. Sorensen now an 85% favorite.
By the way, this is what happens to me every time I have any kind of straight draw. It comes 7-4. 7-5 also acceptable.
So Andre took a stab at this on the flop. Is he going to fire again on the turn? Having been called by 2 players, I'm going to hazard a guess and say no. It would be gutsy, though, but he checks.
I think you're right. It is risky. He could tell the story of having a 7 pretty convincingly, but it's a guessing play.
Everyone checks, and it's a jack on the river. Spare a thought for Tanya, who says, this is an amazing game. I'm going to have noise complaints. I screamed yes as I was barracking for the heart with Akari. Petkov has checked the river, as has Andre Akari. Is Sorensen going to take the showdown value? Yes, he will. And sixes are good.
Every pot crucial, especially a three-way pot. Every last chip counts.
3 million. There's a couple chips there.
Absolutely.
So Akari still in the lead. Sorensen second in chips with close to 14 million. 14 minutes left on the level, by the way, and then our second break of the day, the first installment of Poker in the Ears and Eyes. And when we come back from break, the blind's up to 250,000, 500,000. You think it's shallow now? We've got a puddle for you on the other side of the break.
Good one. We don't reach these blinds levels very often. I think there was one or two times I can remember the blinds got capped, right?
No.
No?
And we were reliving the biggest the blinds have ever been in a main event. It was here in Barcelona back in 2014 when it was Andre Latau heads up for the title. The blinds went to 600,000, 1.2 million.
We got a little ways to go until we get to that. Eight big blind average at the heads up there. I just totally made that up.
A7 for Akari, 8-4 for Sorensen. Top pair for Andre, bottom pair for Sebastian.
It's unraised pre-flop, it goes check, check.
Andre now a 9-1 favorite. He bets the turn. 1 million in the middle, and Andre's made it 600,000.
Kind of a sneaky way to play the ace here. Most of the time, you're going to expect a bet on this ace-queen flop. So I like the call from Sorensen. Probably not going to work out this time, though.
He can improve, but it's going to be tough.
He does not improve. Andre's still with the best hand.
I think this is a good spot for a value bet. Again, Andre Akari did check the flop. Looks a little bit weaker. I think you can get worse hands to pay you off here.
Boom.
Andre Akari, value bets top pair.
1.375.
And Sorensen looks confused. Probably thinking the same thing. Would you check an ace on the flop?
Literally, I can see that going through his head right now.
And would you bet a queen twice for value? A lot of people wouldn't. So if both those things are in Sorensen's favor, then you can definitely make a call here with a pair of fours.
He's either thinking that, or is a hump like a sandwich?
No.
You're answering now, or are you saying he's not thinking that?
Yeah, no, it's not a sandwich.
That's correct. It is not a sandwich.
But it's not beyond the realms of possibility. That is exactly what's going through his mind at this moment in time.
Absolutely.
Will we see a hero call from Sorensen? It would be a hero call that would cost him another 1.375 million chips.
Other possible thoughts here? Is the ginger ale here at the hotel just Coke and Sprite mixed together? Is the body wash and the shampoo in my hotel bathroom the exact same substance? He should be focusing on the hands.
I mean, it's his right to take some time,
But
here, right?
it's
He
a
can
big
go through
decision.
the questions of life. What would you do, Joe?
I fold. I'm a nit. He calls, though.
And Andre tables the A7 to win another pot. And Andre Akari now has more than 50 big blinds. Andre Akari has more than 20 million chips. He's got near enough a 2-to-1 chip lead over the guy who's second on the leaderboard, Sebastian Sorensen, down to 27 big blinds.
Okay.
1,375. This is the dream scenario.
And obviously there are so many factors in a poker tournament, Jamie, but in a situation like this, experience is a major factor. We knew coming in that Andre and Rafael Sorrentino were the two most accomplished players. They're the ones who've been here before. And right now we're seeing Andre's experience pay off.
Absolutely. He can take advantage of everyone given the chip stacks involved here. And he doesn't seem worried or intimidated or unsure of his decision making. He's just in there raising pots, taking chips.
Still 9 minutes to play at this level. And then we take our next tournament break. Sorrentino folding under the gun. Petkov to talk now. He's not going to play this hand. Andre Akari folds the button. Sorensen in the small blind.
And the very short Kaufman behind with only a few big blinds left. Very few chips.
He gets a walk. Kaufman gets a walk. Wow. He was calling there. Had Sorensen decided to shove on him, he's definitely calling with ace-10.
That's kind of unlucky for him. He definitely wants to see a shove all in.
Kaufman's spirit's still high considering he is super, super short. Vyacheslav Petkov being railed by a couple of Bulgarian champs, Ognan Dimov and Dimitar Danchev. They have both won main event titles on our tour. Dimov won Deauville in 2015. Danchev won the PCA back in 2013.
Andre Akari cutting out a raise here with the 7-4 offsuit.
Why not? He's the only player at the table with chips.
Taking advantage of a...
He just got Sorensen to fold threes.
Wow.
He got Kaufman to fold the small blind. And he gets Sorrentino to fold king 5 in the big.
Vamos Akari.
Okay, those of you looking to play tonight's PokerStars TV free roll, you will need the password to get registered for this game. $2,000 in the prize pool. You will find the free roll in the Stars lobby by searching TV. Make sure your filters are off. It starts at 9:15 European time. If you want to slice that $2,000 prize pool, you will need this password, Bunyols, B-U-N-Y-O-L-S. All I know is it's something you can eat. B-U-N-Y-O-L-S, all lowercase. That will get you into the free roll. Register now. 30,000 seats available. Jack deuce of diamonds for Andre. And again with the aggression, Jamie.
I mean, if you're going to open 7-4 off, you better open Jack deuce suited under the gun. As long as Kaufman stays in here, Akari has free reign.
Well, Kaufman may decide, look, I've got a king, I've got to go for this. But he's got no fold equity. He's getting called by Akari.
Oh.
That was a bit stringy.
It was a bit of a string. Is it allowed?
Strictly speaking, no. I think it'll be at the floor manager's discretion. You could argue that his intent was clear, but strictly speaking, it was 2 motions. Remember, if you don't say anything, chips have to go forward in 1 motion. You can't put some forward and then go back for the rest. So it is being ruled as a virtual all-in. Andre then elects to go all in to put Kaufman all in. Let's get to it. Kaufman at risk with King 6. More than covered by Akari with Jack Deuce of diamonds.
And he has to show the Jack Deuce of diamonds, which has some implications for the rest of the table.
Well, here's the thing. Kaufman's ahead, but Akari's got 2 live cards and has roughly 40% equity. Brazilian fans, plus all of Kaufman's supporters from Uruguay. We've got a big Latin American rail here, and many of them will be delighted to see this King, King, Queen flop. Can we have a diamond on the turn for the ultimate sweat, please?
Ideally, a 10 or 9 a diamond would also bring in a straight draw.
Danger for Kaufman, has to fade a 10 on the river to survive. A 10 would give Akari the straight. The river card is a 5. That is the double up for Brian Kaufman.
So lucky. How much is that?
Kaufman did not have very much. He's doubled up to 11 big blinds.
You are so lucky, Uruguay.
He's still in the danger zone, and Akari still has close to 50 bigs. It was a largely inconsequential pot for him.
Nice hammer.
And somehow we are still 5-handed.
I don't know what's going on. This is crazy.
3 minutes left until the blinds go up.
That's around where Akari was when this tournament was down to 7. And look at him now. Anything can happen.
Kaufman not out of contention for sure, but still short, looking for another double up to get back into this game. Petkov hovering around the 15 big blind mark. Sorrentino and Sorensen with roughly 25 big blinds each. Akari close to 50 bigs. But remember, everyone gets a lot shorter in 2.5 minutes time when the blinds go to 250, 500. Queen at 7 suited for Sorensen. He folds under the gun. Okay, Brian, what you got? King 6 again. Not going to play it this time. Sorrentino on the button. Only see one of his cards. 9 of clubs. He is raising.
The only person here that knows what it feels like to win a main event on a Poker Stars tour. Andre Akari, of course, winning a World Series of Poker bracelet. Sorrentino not shy to this situation, though.
So Andre with 6-4 defends his big blind. These two going to the flop. 9-9-3. I'm going to say that's a pretty good flop for Sorrentino, and I can only see one of his cards.
Can Sorrentino get any action out of this 9? It's a very dry flop. Akari doesn't hit it.
Check, bet, fold. Christopher Bean tweets, this final table reminds me of when I played a spin and go and the blinds went to 250, 500.
Wow.
Good shout, Christopher. That's exactly what this final table is like, except there are 2 additional players at the table. Oh, and they're playing for 1.4 million euros. No big deal. I think we're going to squeeze in one more hand, Jamie. And I think we're going to come back after the break, still 5-handed.
We have one more shot to get down to 4.
Okay.
One last chance.
Jamie's feeling it. Queen 9 for Kaufman.
Wait a second. What's going on here? We getting a play?
Yeah, but not an all-in.
Got a frisky little raise under the gun here.
Raising to $1 million, leaving himself 8 bigs behind. Folded around to Sebastian Sorensen in the big blind, who has King 3 of diamonds.
It's a close one. This min raise does look very strong. Then again, Sorensen only has to call 600,000 to win the 1.8 million in the pot. It's a pretty good risk reward there.
Sorensen lets it go, and confirmation that we are going to be coming back from break still 5-handed with super shallow stacks, because the next level will be 250,000, 500,000 with a 50k ante. Let's see how those stacks translate into big blinds. Andre Akari, the chip leader, with a 36 big blind stack. 2 guys on around the 10 big blind mark, Petkov and Kaufman. So the action continues in 20 minutes time here on PokerStars TV. In the meantime, while we take a break from the main event, you can enjoy the first installment of Poker in the Ears and Eyes Barcelona edition. And we'll see you back here in 20.